Alright, this is it. We're wrapping up the first one. So we're starting out with, like, the most boring. It's basically just, you can farm here. Luckily it won't take too long since I've already got that one sub-tank pretty much all the way done, so we don't need to speed anything up or anything like that. What you might not be able to see, I'm not sure what the final exported frame rate's going to look like, but I'm using the rolling shield again. The little caterpillar enemies that you might have noticed when I was going through Stink Chameleon stage are coming out of those holes, and I'm basically just getting infinite, health and ammo and stuff, which, it's a trick everybody knows about, but walkthroughs, so I feel obligated to point it out. It's definitely worth doing, and it's especially nice that, if you die after using all 4 sub-tanks or anything like that, or wasting all your ammo, you always spawn down here for this particular room, so it's pretty much impossible to fail here, because they'll drop extra lives, too, and because you're doing so many, you're bound to get, 1 or 2. So you more or less have unlimited tries for Sigma, which is really, really nice.
Speaking of...
I know, right? Look at this asshole and his asshole dog.
I like that dog.
No, I like Velgarder a lot, too. There was a very short amount of time that I remember from my childhood where I remember people arguing about whether or not Velgarder was the name of his dog or his final form, like Velgarder Sigma. It's like, no, Velgarder is obviously the dog. Like, it's not mentioning Sigma when it mentions Velgarder. That literally doesn't make sense. Like, you should understand the formatting of this information. But, yeah, so Velgarder's the dog. Weakest to shotgun ice. It's especially nice because he will jump all over the goddamn place, and, the shatter effect makes it really easy to hit him with it. Plus, it's fast. The ammo is good.
It's really interesting to have a short quadrupedal boss in this game.
Yeah. It's cool, too, because, that never happens again. Really. There's never a precursor to Sigma that way ever again in the series, I don't think. I mean, well, sort of in the next one, depending on how you play it, but nothing like that. That is purely a Sigma component, as opposed to, you have to fight Vile or something, or, one of the other bad guys. Which is pretty neat. It's basically a 3-phase, rather than the normal 2.
How much of this repeating pattern is due to you choosing the fight, and how much of it is just due to this is just how the fight goes?
You mean cheesing as in, staying in the corner?
Yeah.
A lot of it. If you're on the ground, he'll do, really quick dashes forward, which you kind of see in the intro with an upward slash, and that slash does a lot of damage. I mean, he does a lot of damage in general, even just from contact, which makes sense, because it is Sigma. Also, for clarification, I'm going out of my way to use the charge shots here. So I was curious if they did a heavy amount of damage like they do in the Game Boy game, because the charge shots in the Game Boy game wreck his shit. But in this one, it doesn't seem like they're really worth it. You're better off just kind of using the minor shots. So in this particular instance, in the good walkthrough, do as I say, not as I do, I guess is the best way to put it. The good thing about the standard shots is you're capable of hitting him from a distance while he's hitting the wall, because, we'll travel up and down the wall if you hit opposite, and you can potentially hit him twice if your timing is really good, as opposed to, the one and then you recharge and waste more ammo and stuff like that. So you're getting a little bit more coverage with the charge shot, but the damage output isn't really worth the effort. In my opinion. Do whatever you want. Fight him with Boomerang Cutter. I don't give a shit. So this part, legitimately, this is, one of the harder final bosses in the series for me, despite it being my favorite entry in the game. These fucking hands. The damage underneath them, and then, the lightning and needing to stand in the right spot, and they can knock you off and shit. It's just son of a bitch. I can't deal with this. I'm just gonna go through all my sub-tanks. I don't care. I have no pride here. Just, I want to get it done. And for the longest time, I actually think it happens in the regular playthrough, because I insist most of the time on using the charge shot just because I don't like having to jump and try to hit him with rolling shield. Fucking just use rolling shield. It does so much more damage, so much quicker, and that was terrifyingly close. God damn it, I don't even think I noticed that when I was playing.
The fact that your E-tanks don't fully heal you pisses me right the fuck off.
They fix that later on. It's a later thing. It just goes to show that nobody expected X to be that powerful, and the sub-tanks just, weren't designed for it, because, you couldn't possibly do this much health. And then, sure enough... Yeah, no, it's annoying, and I agree. But yeah, rolling shield wipes him out. That's the end of the first X game. going to use this opportunity while he's talking about, all of this nonsense about the Reploid race and stuff, so we can use the credits for, like, final thoughts and stuff like that. I really like how they word Sigma's design notes in the book. The more interesting one I'll do second. But basically, the first one is they were like, okay, we want, the X series to be a little bit, not like grimdark or anything, because that wasn't even really a thing back at this point in 1993. Yeah, there's the floating island, so there you go. There's what I was talking about back in Fortress 1.
You can see the entrance thing there.
I know, it's so cool. I love it. But, yeah, so obviously not super gritty, grimdark, everything is blood and death, but they didn't want it to be like, Mega Man, the original's not in a bad way, but is, a kiddie-style game, and it's fine. Like, it's a really hard game, but it's fun and colorful and friendly. So this one, they were like, you know what? Let's ramp it up a little bit. Our audience is aging a little bit with us. They want something fresh gameplay-wise, so here's gameplay that won't alienate, but at the same time advances, and, it's a different plot. And so to reflect that, they were like, okay, well, we need a bad guy. It can't be Wily because of the time jump stuff. Wily isn't really involved with the X series at all. Not directly. And the way they word it is like, Wily's the bad guy, but there's a side of him that we intentionally made, like, you can't really hate him. Like, he always does the whole, like, oh, I'll never do it again, I'm sorry, sprite animation stuff. It's like, he's kind of cute. It's just, he's a
short old man.
But, he's still a bad guy. So for Sigma, the way they worded it is, they wanted, or Sigma, however, we created to be a kind of absolute evil type character. And then the undernote is, word for word, right out of the art book, his story goes along the lines of, he was manufactured to be pure good, but somehow turned out this way, which lends a certain unforeseen error feel to his very existence. Which is like, yeah, you know what? I can see that being a really good bad guy note. Is like, there's just something wrong with him, and it's like, god damn it, like, you're crazy. It's like, oh, like, he's the bad guy. Alright, so cool.
There's just something wrong with his chin.
And no, well, yeah. It's different in every game. But, okay. The snowplow. But yeah, so there's all that plot, by the way. In case you didn't feel like me rambling on, you could have read that. But, the other cool thing... Oh, and this. I love this. There's no actual... Or no, because that's... They actually credit the enemies and stuff over, the game programmers and designers and stuff. So it's like, here's the level names, here's all the names of the enemies. There's no pictures, but, you can kind of associate just by...
Name.
It's not too complicated. There are certain ones. And then they do the bosses and stuff, and something coming up is, like, my favorite about it. But, so this real quick is these assholes right here, which, I don't know if we'll show it on the screen, but there's basically concept art from X1. That's, a really short, kind of punky guy, a really tall, lanky guy, and like a big, fat, kind of middle height guy. And the design notes on that was that originally the boss, or the final bad guy in X, wasn't going to be Sigma. It was going to be like this triad of three masterminds, because like we can, push the boundaries and like make all this new cool stuff. And it kind of ended up merging into what eventually became Sigma, but they liked the idea so much that they ended up turning that concept into the X-Hunters from X2, which we'll be getting to shortly enough. I just think it's cool that, like, they had that conglomerate idea, but then still had the outlet for it and stuff like that. It's just really neat. Plus, goddamn it, I love this retro art so much. There's a lot of really cool stuff in here. Too bad you can't see it unless you're cool like me and have the art book.
I might scan it, put it up.
Oh, there's scans, don't worry about it. Either way, so we're still going through all the bosses. You're not wrong. Vil.
Lava.
Oh! Quick fun fact, I guess, before this is all done, is Vile is not based on Boba Fett. That is not what the design scheme came from. That's just coincidental. This, though, real quick before I finish that thought, I love this part of the credits, and I wish they kept it up throughout all of them. It's cheesy, but I like the fact that you're like, you did this. This is a good job.
Me.
I know. It's like Mario 3. It was all a play, and I was the actor the whole time.
I did all this.
Yeah, no,
not
it's just
you.
It's just
me.
It's a nice little touch. But yeah, so this one does have the actual programmer credits in it. I think it's the second one that doesn't have any credits in it at all. But yeah. So Vile isn't based on Boba Fett. That's mostly a coincidence. It's based on what's the guy's name from Road Warrior, the second Mad Max movie?
Oh, God.
God damn it. Like, this is something I should have had up ready. I don't want to browse through it. But he's based on one of those guys. Like, even the name Vava was supposed to be. It might be like Bubba or something like that. It's been forever since he did movies. But either way...
The guy in the hockey mask?
I think so.
God, what was his name?
It's not Master Blaster, because he's from Thunderdome. But either way, I really like that bit of trivia. Like, you know, everybody's like, it's Boba Fett. Look, he's got the T mask. It's like, no. Why you jump into conclusions? Listen to all these edits. And that's from an interview, too. Like, that's a direct. Like, they were like, yeah, no, everybody always says Boba Fett, but that's not what it is. He's actually this guy. I really liked him in the movie, and I was like, I thought it'd be cool if we designed a guy like that. So, there you go.
Now, as I recall in the movie, he mostly just wore a mask and a Speedo, which doesn't really translate over.
It's mostly just the guy liked the design and a mask was involved, but either way, just some more trivia. But anyway, that's X1. We're about to get to a cool, like, secret ending, which, you know, we're talking about 8 sequels and shit, so obviously there's more. Everybody already knows that. I'm not saying anything unique right now. But it is my favorite one. I don't think it goes, like, downhill from here. There's certain highs and lows and stuff like that. I've got a really unique order to my favoritism on the games, which I'll kind of cover as we go. But it's a really, really, really good entry to a new section of series. And, like, I really wish that more games had, like, that kind of caliber of, like, here's what we did do, here's what we're gonna do, and it's just like, holy fuck, like, let's do that.
I honestly don't think it ever reaches this level of quality again. Like, it doesn't go to shit quickly at all, but like there's a general downwards trend to the sequels.
It's a component-based thing more than anything.
Yeah, like the next few games are still really great. It's just not quite on par, and then it kind of nosedives for a bit. Spikes again near the end, but
near the end, yeah, but. It's stuff that we'll cover as we go. But anyway, thank you for watching through the first X game. There's 7 more to go. More than that.
9 more to go.
But that's for later. So hopefully you'll stick it through and we're not that annoying. If our information ever gets boring, there's always the alternate versions. Go check those out too. And enjoy. There's so much more content. We're not even remotely close to done yet.
Don't make me cry.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.